Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where we provide world-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and I am super excited for this brand new show that we have today. We have someone who's joining us from India. He is my co-host for this show, and I'm super excited because today we're going to talk about Grapho therapy. And I was not aware, this is handwriting analysis, if you've heard of this before. And handwriting analysis is something that really can tell a lot about us as a person, about our personality traits, some good, some that we can work on. And I actually went through this whole handwriting analysis myself with the star of our show. Let's welcome Navin TOSHNIWAL. Welcome to the program, sir.
Hello, how are you? I hope all of you are doing well.
It's so nice to see you. I know it's evening there in India. Thank you for making the time to be with us. And welcome to USA Global TV and Radio as a TV show host. Congratulations.
And I thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to share my knowledge on this amazing subject.
This subject, as I mentioned in the beginning, is something that was really new to me. I've heard of handwriting analysis, and I am familiar with what you shared with me, but I don't think that our audience really has any clue about what goes into it. So just a little bit of background. I provided you with a single page white sheet of paper, had no lines on it. And then I wrote something that I took out of a book. So it wasn't something that I had to come up with. And I sent it to you via email, I believe, and you analyzed it right on the spot on a Zoom call. You had literally no time really to do any preparation. And it was live. And what you shared with me about my personality, some things that are positive and some things that are opportunities, were spot on. And you don't know me at all. And what you perceive from me is even even more on point than people I've been in relationships with who do know me. So congratulations, you really are an expert.
No, sir. Actually, I am not an expert. We are all learners throughout our life. Okay, of course, I have done a lot of study, self-study, and that has helped me to gain some knowledge on this subject. And of course, with experience, you also learn a lot.
Tell us why this topic is so important to you.
See, actually, this has always been my passion. It was never my business. I have been following it as a passion and as a hobby for years together now. Since the time I was in college, my father used to do handwriting analysis for the candidates he used to employ in our business. So I used to see him get handwritten applications from the candidates, and he used to analyze the personality through the handwriting strokes before taking the interviews. So that used to fascinate me a lot. And slowly I developed interest and started learning from him. And that's how it all started. And in our college days, in our free period, I used to sit down with our friends and we used to chit chat, analyze their handwritings. And they used to be amazed how accurately the traits used to come out from their strokes. And in fact, they motivated me that why don't I pursue it further and maybe do it as a profession in due course of time. That's how I got motivated, and things picked up, and now I am doing it professionally as well.
Congratulations. I love the backstory that you shared. That's fascinating. So, you may have heard of something called personality analysis that's done with DISC, where you are applying for a job, or maybe you're already in the job and your employer wants you to take this personality test so they can find out what your personality traits are, and then you can understand those of your team members. And it's somewhat involved. And what you do is, I feel like, 10 times better than that entire process, and it's right on point. So I'm happy to share some of the things that you discovered by looking at my handwriting, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay with me. It's perfectly all right.
Fantastic. So, one thing on the positive side was that I'm very organized and very structured and disciplined. And that is really true. That's a big part of who I am, that everything I have to be, I guess, in control to make sure that things really are on point. And something else that on the side that I have to work on is that I'm angry. I've got anger inside of me about something, and I need to figure that out as well. And the reason I bring that up is because you are also a coach. You're able to help people like me look at the handwriting, look at the analysis, and then how can we work on changing our strokes of handwriting so that we can take that and our life in terms of our personality traits. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, actually, this is the most amazing part. Analysis is something which is the first step because we are able to accurately analyze the personality and character traits through the strokes in the handwriting. In fact, this science is very old, from the time of a well known Greek scholar Aristotle. He was actually the first person who established a link between the mind and the handwriting. He used to say that handwriting is actually mind writing, and whatever is there in your mind, it comes out through your hand and through the pen on the paper. Now, see, analysis is done accurately through the strokes. That is the first part. But what is the use? The use comes when you are actually able to get over your negative traits and more effectively utilize your positive traits. And that is where the role of part two comes, that is graphotherapy, where you actually make some conscious efforts to change some small strokes in the handwriting, whereby you will change your personality or your characteristics in a very short duration of about 3 weeks. See, remember, these days Writing is almost gone. We are all on text, on laptops, on computers. So the therapy which I recommend is very simple, where you will be required to practice only about 5 minutes a day. And if you do that dedicatedly, you will actually change yourself. You will be able to see the changes or observe the changes in yourself in a short duration of about 3 weeks. Once you achieve this, then you need not continue to write forever. The therapy is done, you are able to see the changes. That's it. You can stop the handwriting.
That's fascinating, Naveen. So I've always heard that if you want to change something in your behavior, it takes 3 weeks. And then I've heard it takes 6 months. So you're saying in 3 weeks of doing this 5 minutes of work that we can change our personality traits.
Exactly. You just need to devote 5 minutes a day where we will be doing the therapy or working on the traits which we mutually decide. Suppose I'll give you some examples. Suppose you are creative, but you are not using your creativity fully, or you are ambitious, but your long term goals are not clear. Maybe you have some self doubt. That is the reason you are not able to achieve your goals or dedicatedly work towards something with determination or willpower. So these negative traits are, uh, in fact, identified. And then I will explain to you what is the stroke of low determination or unable to define your goals or self doubt. And I will tell you to consciously change these strokes and write these strokes in a slightly different way. And once you practice these changes, it will impact your subconscious to change you. And remember, we are not telling you to change your handwriting. It is just changing a few strokes, which can be easily done with a little bit of practice.
Naveen, I remember from the session that you and I had that the T, the stroke of the T, is really insightful about personality traits. Can you talk a little bit more about that, where a person crosses their T?
Right. I'll give you a small demo. I have a chart ready with me on small t. See, these are the different ways in which some of the different ways in which we are able, which in which we are writing small t's. So I'll just talk about them briefly, some of them. This is a normal T with a T stem and a T bar. A T bar going towards the top like this indicates people who are ambitious and they have a well-defined goal. A T bar which is going above the T stem like this indicates people who are actually dreamers. They think and think that I will do this, I will do that, I will have this plan, but actual effort to achieve or do something is not there. They are actually daydreamers. A T bar going low like this towards the bottom indicates people who are lacking confidence in their own abilities or they have self doubt. So once they have self doubt, they might be having difficulty in initiating anything they want to do. Okay, now a T bar which is going towards the left, this indicates procrastination. A T bar going towards the right, this indicates short temper. So, just in brief, to give you an idea how the analysis is done, and once we identify the negativities, then the next step we go in for the therapy, where we are consciously making the T bar or T strokes, or for that matter, any other letter in a slightly different manner so that you are able to achieve the desired changes in a short therapy of 3 weeks' time.
I'm so glad that you showed that chart. Now, a question I have, let's say someone, they're not working with you yet, and they just saw this and they realize that the T that they're doing, maybe they're crossing it above, so they're a dreamer. But now they've seen what you just shared and they're going to change it before you get to read it. Does that mean that they actually have changed their personality?
Yes, it will definitely change the personality, but the therapy has to be done in a very systematic and organized way. If you do it on your own and maybe you try to do the therapy yourself, no doubt it may help you. But if you do it in an organized and dedicated way, which I will guide you about, then you are bound to get the changes in that short duration of about 3 weeks. Because there is a systematic way of doing it. First week of therapy will be slightly different, then second week will be slightly different, and third week will be slightly different. So it should be done under a proper and guided supervision for best results.
And can you work with people anywhere in the world? How does that work?
Yes, it's possible because these days everything is online. No, we are all connected on internet. Uh, we can always talk on a video call. We can exchange notes on WhatsApp or any other social media platform. So it's not an issue. It can be done anywhere in the world and with anyone with great ease.
And I would assume that the person has to be committed to working this process and doing this for 3 weeks so that they can achieve the desired outcome.
Yes, that is very important because if you don't practice or do the therapy, then how do you expect to get the results? I cannot do the therapy on anyone else's behalf. It has to be done by that person, and obviously, as you rightly said, he or she has to be very dedicated and committed for this short duration. And I'm sure finding 5 minutes or 7 minutes a day is not a big deal at all if you are really serious about changing yourself for your own good.
It's a lot easier than giving up chocolate. That's for sure. So we actually have a testimonial from one of your clients who's given us permission to show this. So let's take a look and then have a conversation about what we're watching.
Naveen TOSHNIWAL is an exceptional graphotherapy specialist. The idea behind the specialty is that during the actual writing process, we're expressing ourselves. That may sound like an oversimplification, but the point is that it is not just content or thinking that comes out onto the paper, but our subconscious slips messages through this action. Our emotions can be tricky. The first step in the process is to submit a sample for writing, a sample of writing for analysis. Naveen displays not only specialized knowledge in his analysis, but also great tact. It's a very personal process. Subsequently, an easy series of therapeutic writings, customized for specific goals, ensues for 3 weeks, requiring only 5 minutes per day. And if you can't find 5 minutes per day, then I don't know what to say. I think you can. He maintains a patient and optimistic temperament by nature. He and the therapy helped me to define my long-term goals. As well, some hidden negative emotions were resolved through the easy therapy with great relief. Graphotherapy permitted insight into my subconscious, along with reflection and inner growth, even healing from the past. I'm a firm believer in psychological counseling type therapy. Working through sad events with a professional helps all of us to find more peace and become our best selves. My favorite quote from Naveen cuts through the process of talk therapy like a hot knife through butter. He says, it doesn't matter what or who you resent. Resentment holds you back. Just let go of it. Now, without spending hours and hours talking about the content or the reasons behind negative emotion, this graphotherapy process purged it. My heart is lighter and I have more focus. I highly recommend Naveen TOSHNIWAL and graphotherapy.
Wow, that was beautiful. Tell us about your client. Who is she and how did you two get connected?
See, if I remember correctly, we had connected through LinkedIn, and she's a very well known and established professor and stays in Washington, D.C. And in fact, she was so impressed with this science that she once invited me for a panel uh, of for discussing and explaining what exactly this graphotherapy is. And of course, it was a big opportunity to share my knowledge on such a big platform. And once the analysis was done for her, she was so excited to go through the entire therapy process. And she did it effectively and dedicatedly devoted the time for 5 minutes every day. And that's the reason she got the results.
And you heard what she said. I mean, she was excited about the fact that she worked with you and then was able to embody these changes. And something else that really stood out for me is if you and I, as friends, were having a conversation and you said, you seem really angry, I think I would be taken aback and I'd be like, whoa, what are you talking about? And that can cause an argument. But when you go to someone like you as a professional and the way that you deliver the information, it's very non-confrontational, and I'm very receptive of the information. And I think that that's a big difference, that somebody really well might give you feedback about your personality and you might find it to be insulting or threatening, or you don't want to hear it. But when you work with a professional like yourself and you know that you have the opportunity to change something, then that's exciting.
Yes, actually, it is important that the person who is getting the analysis done is also keen to go really go through the changing process. If they are not interested themselves to go through the therapy, how can we actually think of giving a therapy or changing them? So it is very important to accept the fact and be prepared for going through the therapy process. And once it is decided, the results are bound to come. See, let me tell you, the results, or you can say the after effects of the therapy are amazing, and it is proven. And that is the reason I am continuing to pursue this as a hobby or as a passion. Because since this is not my profession or my business, I would have probably stopped pursuing it, even if there was a single negative feedback in all these years. But it is the feedbacks and the videos which you just showed are the factors which keep motivating me to go on and on.
Thank you, Naveen. And you are highly sought after to go into organizations and go to conferences and talk to large groups of people about graphotherapy. And I know you just came back from a very prestigious event. Can you share more about that?
Yes. Yeah, actually, it was definitely a very prestigious event. Uh, there is a company in India under government. It is called Oil and Natural Gas Corporation. In short, we call them ONGC. It is the biggest oil extracting firm in India and probably in the top five in the world. Just as in America, you have Shell, we have ONGC in India. So they invited me for a presentation. One was at their head office in the city of Mumbai, and another was in their factory, which was about 2 hours drive from Mumbai. So I covered both the places in this invitation, and people were really engrossed, and they attended the session from beginning to the end. No one got up in the middle and went away. So many queries were there, question answers, and I tried to make it interactive by calling the candidates and write 2 or 3 lines on the board so that I could just develop a curiosity in them by telling them 2 or 3 traits about them. So it was an amazing experience, and my thanks to the ONGC representatives who gave me an opportunity to share my knowledge.
I am so happy for you and so proud of you. Congratulations, Naveen.
Yeah, thanks so much. And I must appreciate that you have also given me an opportunity to share something about this amazing science with your audience.
Well, on that note, there are a number of people across all the platforms who are watching. So I'd like to just engage the audience. If people, I know sometimes people feel uncomfortable, but if you could hold up that chart again with the T's, and if we could ask the people who are watching live, because I can see across all the platforms people are watching, if you could show the T's again and ask people to take out a blank piece of paper and write a word with the word T, with the letter T in it, and maybe people will say, you know what, my T is the dreamer, or my T is, I think it would be fun. Let's see if we can get anyone to engage with us by putting comments on social media. So Naveen, I'm going to spotlight you. And if you can go through the chart again, that would be great.
No, it's not only T. Let the people come out with 2 or 3 lines, and I will do a very brief analysis of what they have written. It's not only the T. See, there are other letters also, like, for example, the different ways which you are writing M and N, right? These are M's and N with pointed tops. These are M's and N which have got inverted V's. These are M's and N's which have rounded tops. So each of them has a different meaning. Now I'll show the lower. See, these are the lower letters. You have these straight finishing downstroke Y's, small loop Y's, big loop Y's, unfinished loop Y's, and similarly you have G's. Okay. And these are some of the round letters, A and O. See, this is a normal A, okay, and this is a O which has got a gap on the top, right? This is a O which has got a loop, a bigger loop, and then you have got O's with a double loop. So every stroke, every letter has a meaning. The way in which you write, whether it is tilted right, straight, or left, all these things, the handwriting is small or big, the strokes are small or big. Everything carries a meaning. So it will be better if someone can share 2 or 3 lines, not only T's. So that will help to analyze someone and tell something about them on the show if they are interested.
I just don't know how they're going to be able, how you're going to be able to see it.
Oh, okay. So this
Yeah.
is one-way communication, right?
Right, exactly. So what I was thinking was
Oh,
people,
okay,
they
okay.
can write at home and maybe they can type in the comments, my T looks like the one that's the dreamer always stands out for me. So I'm not sure. But if anybody's out there and wants to write a word, and I don't know how we would see it, but just if you can share maybe what it is that it looks like. So Naveen, if we go back to the one of the last things that you just held up with the points for the M's and the N's,
Yes,
can
yes.
you just share, not all of them, but maybe 1 or 2 traits?
Yeah, sure, definitely. I'll do that. See, the ones with the pointed M's and N's like this. This indicates people who have a sharp mind and a very good grasping ability. They don't take time to understand or grasp anything. These M's and N's are having inverted V's. This is someone who has curiosity for learning. They want to learn and absorb new things. They are always thirsty for knowledge. Now, these are the M's and N's we were taught to write in school. We were taught to write in school in this way. This indicates people who are slow thinkers. Now, there is nothing wrong in a slow thinker. Slow thinker basically means a person who will take time to understand or absorb something. They will require to study, restudy, go into details, and they may take few hours or even up to 1 or 2 days to understand something. But once they understand it, their concepts will be crystal clear, probably more than the person who has a sharp mind.
So interesting. So when we think about people who they take longer to process something, that actually can be a positive because they're really thinking through the whole thing and they're more than likely not going to change their mind. Would you say that's
Yes,
correct?
you are absolutely right. Yes, you are absolutely right. A person who has a sharp mind may just be satisfied with overall overview of the subject, but a person who goes into details, studies more and more, may take time to understand something, but then the knowledge will be very deep rooted, and they will understand it thoroughly after going through all the details.
When you think about going to a therapist per se, therapy can be a very long process where you're going through your past experiences, and I imagine it can be emotionally traumatic as well. What have you seen from your clients, or even when you're giving presentations and people are doing some of the they're giving samples, when people realize they have these areas of promise or opportunity, for example, about my anger, are you finding that people are getting emotional about it, saying, oh, I didn't know I had that personality trait, or that's not something I can relate with? Or is it something that people are saying, okay, I want to work on it?
See, if people are honest and fair and they genuinely want to change, why will they deny that something is not there in their personality or in their trait? Because let me tell you something, this science is 100% accurate. There is no question of any analysis, or I should say any stroke which will not tell you correctly about your personality. See, now where the gap will come, I will tell you. I am a human being. I can make a mistake in analyzing. That is one gap. Another gap is I'm trying to explain something about the personality of a person after seeing the strokes, but I'm not able to convey it properly, or the listener is not able to understand it properly. So these are the only two places where the gap in understanding or communication can come. Otherwise, the science or the graphotherapy is 100%, I should say the grapho analysis is 100% accurate. And if someone wants to really change themselves and go through the process of therapy, they will normally not deny that they don't have a particular negative trait. Because if they do that, then they are actually cheating themselves. They don't want to really go through the process of improvement. And if they really want to go through the process of improvement, they will accept, and they will definitely go through the therapy and experience the changes themselves.
Thank you, Naveen. One of the things that I mentioned early on that I found really fascinating was that after I sent you the sample of my handwriting, which again, I just took from a book, I just wrote word for word what was in the book. I thought maybe you'd say, well, let's meet in a week or so. And instead, you're like, oh, no, let's meet right away. So you didn't have any time to do any research on me. And I thought maybe you would be doing some research, but no, you went strictly by the handwriting.
Yes, actually, now over the years, some experience has come, and I am able to analyze it on the spot, extempo, I should say. I don't need to study, restudy, or earlier, when I started the analysis, I used to take a print out, sit down with it, refer some books, compare the strokes, and analyze. Now, of course, by God's grace, I've got some experience and knowledge, so I'm able to do it fast and on the spot. In fact, if you give me a sheet of handwriting, and if it's in front of me just for a minute or so, I will be able to completely analyze that person in my mind. Of course, when I discuss with the person, the explaining and discussions that take time. But in my mind, the personality is set within a couple of minutes.
It's phenomenal. And by the way, we have been showing various ways where people can connect with you. Facebook right now is up, and that's your name. Also Instagram, which is your name, and we'll show some of the others in a moment. A question that I have for you is, I'm wondering if you have ever had the occasion to analyze someone's handwriting and you felt something really overwhelming. So in other words, maybe you could feel mental health issues, or maybe somebody who has a criminal mind per se. Have you ever had the opportunity where that occurred?
Yes, actually, if you remember the lockdown time in early, that was in April, May, June 2020. That was the time when everything was under lockdown, everything was closed, and people went into a very bad state of mind, uh, depressions, anxiety. And during those times, I had got one handwriting which even indicated suicidal tendencies. Now, that was something which had to be handled very tactfully, because you cannot tell anyone that you have got this trait. You have to be very judicious in tackling and helping that person out of that situation. So she was actually a young girl in early 20s, and I just told her, look, this stroke is not good. You try to change it, and I'll give you the therapy for this. Make this particular stroke or this particular letter in this way, not in this way. So at that time, she was in a very bad mental state. She was not even able to talk or express anything about her. So, along with her mother, I told her to go through the therapy, and I told her mother to motivate her to start the therapy immediately. There was some resistance initially, but finally she started doing the therapy. And within this period of 2 to 3 weeks, I was able to see a very bright change in her. She was now able to talk to me eye to eye. Good morning, sir. How are you? And all these expressions were very motivating. Now, today, she is perfectly normal and she is employed.
Wow, that's amazing. So you really had a big impact. The work that you're doing has had a big impact on her mental health.
Yes, definitely. And it has also motivated me. And I have also learned a lot in the process. The purpose of doing grapho analysis and therapy is with an intention to help people, because, as I have repeated before also, this is not my business. It's just a hobby and passion which I'm pursuing actively. And I personally get a lot of happiness and satisfaction if I'm able to help someone come out from a difficult situation.
That's really commendable, Naveen. Thank you. And so you are available, interested, and open to helping people. And all they have to do is reach out to you. And we've heard a little bit about the process. It takes 5 minutes. And I'm telling people myself because I went through the handwriting analysis that you did for me, and I'm going to do the 5 minutes. I'm committing to that publicly. Hello, everyone. I'm committing to doing that 5 minutes for 3 weeks. What else is involved that people need to know about when they work with you?
No, nothing else. You just need to first, you have to write a page of handwriting on a plain sheet. Why I am insisting plain sheet? Because you will see that some lines might be going up or going down, or some words which are slanting up or slanting down. That also has a meaning. So if you write on a ruled paper, these traits will be little difficult to detect. So once you give me that sheet, one page of handwritten matter, I will do the analysis with you face to face, just like I did for you. And once we analyze and come to a joint conclusion, what are the traits to be tackled, then we go for the therapy. And then I will recommend the therapy after properly explaining the trait or the strokes. Like, for example, you have self doubt. I will show the stroke which shows self doubt, and in turn I will tell you to write that particular stroke in a different way so that you are able to get over that negative trait. And this exercise will be for 3 weeks and in three phases. First week will be a different exercise, then second week, and then third week. And by the end of 3 weeks, you will definitely be able to observe the changes in yourself.
Another question I have for you, Naveen, is that you mentioned also, and I think this is important because many people are not handwriting things, everybody's typing. So once you go through this process, you don't have to go back to handwriting if you don't wish to.
Yeah, that's what I told you some time back. That once you go through the therapy, which is again very simple, just writing 5 minutes a day. So it's like you can say it's like a medicine which you are taking for improving yourself. When you are ill, you don't have to take the medicine permanently. You have to take the medicine only for a particular duration till the time you are fully cured. So this therapy where you have to practice the strokes or do the therapy only for the time, for a limited time period, and once you are able to feel the changes or once you have observed the changes, then you need not continue. That's it.
It's incredible. We have your website, one of your websites actually, that we are going to pull up and show to everyone. So let's take a look at this. The website is Trait Reader, TRAIT Reader, READER.com. Where should we go here on this website?
Yes, this is the website, and I think there are a few pages there which why we should do it, how to do it, all those things are there. But of course, this needs some upgradation because I have not worked on it for some time now. The best way to contact me is through social media, through Facebook, LinkedIn, or maybe if you want to share my WhatsApp number, that's also fine with me, or my email ID, that's fine with me. And of course, this website is okay. We had made a lot of efforts to make the website, but it surely needs to be updated in due course.
All right, so all the information is here, but the best way to
Yes.
reach you is through social media. And so let's just review what those options are again. So we have Facebook, which is your
Yes.
name. We have Instagram, which is your name. So we have people watching on Facebook and Instagram right now. So it'd be great if you can go over and just connect with Naveen on both of these platforms. And then, of course, we also have LinkedIn, which is your name and then 74649B4 after that. So LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram are the best ways. And then, of course, they want more information, they can go to your website. What is your email address? If you can put it in the chat, and then we'll share that with people as well.
Yes, I'll do that. And of course, I want to add that people can even connect through you because you are known to all of them and you are well established in this field. So people can always come to through you as well. I'll just type in the chat box.
Okay, fantastic. And for my contact information, it's right here. So you can find me at Dr. JACALYN at usaglobaltv.com. And then also our website, usaglobaltv.com. So I think what would be really interesting is if we would have people who would come forward and be part of this opportunity to have their handwriting analyzed so that they can learn more things about themselves and then put that into action, which is what I'm doing. So we could have a group of us who are going through this at the same time. I would really enjoy that opportunity to have a community of us. I'm putting your email here for people as well, and we'll put that on the screen. So it's
And I've typed my WhatsApp number also.
okay. Your email address is TOSHNIWALN at gmail.com. And then your WhatsApp number I will put there as well. Okay, so just to sum it up for everyone, this graphotherapy is life-changing, and it is something that is really, it's cost effective. It's the amount of time it takes is short. It's short in duration. So I am doing the work myself, and I'd love to have other people join me on this journey. And Naveen is our captain. So here is Naveen's telephone number, which is 919 929 133 365. So if you're not able to write everything down, this is going to be out there forever on our YouTube channel as well as all the other platforms. And you can feel free to reach out to me or to Naveen. Naveen, what would you like to conclude with today as we close out this episode of our show?
See, I would just like to say one thing that these days writing has completely finished. Lot of people ask me queries like, see, I have not written for so many years. My handwriting is very bad. So I will not show you my handwriting. See, good or bad handwriting from the point of view of looks has nothing to do with your personality or character traits. If you even if you write in a very illegible way, your personality and traits will still be disclosed. And if you want to go through a life changing process, graphotherapy is one of the proven and very reliable options. And of course, you have to write for a short duration, but that's nothing. If you actually want, if you make up your mind that you have to go through the process and change yourself for the better, this is one of the best options.
And I would just like to add, in addition to that, you can pick up any book, a magazine, a newspaper, and you can just write exactly what it is you're reading. You don't have to think of something, come up with something amazing that you're trying to think, oh, I want to impress Naveen with my writing. He's not interested in the content. He's interested in the actual handwriting. So please do reach out to him or reach out to me and get started on a journey of really analyzing your handwriting by this expert who is wanted around the world. He's here today spending his time with us, and it's truly a gift. So thank you for co-hosting this episode with me today, Naveen.
And thanks so much once again for giving me an opportunity to share something about this amazing subject.
It's a pleasure. And I hope you have a beautiful evening there in India, and I will be in touch with you.
Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that concludes this episode. And I have to say, this is why I love what I do. This is what gets me out of bed in the morning, because we have people like Naveen who are so talented, and he's in another country, in another part of the world. And yet he's here today on this platform. He analyzed my handwriting, and it was really eye-opening, as I mentioned before. Some things I knew about myself and some things that I thought were, that I didn't really accept or analyze or acknowledge, I should say, that were there. And when he read the handwriting, I thought, you know what, that is spot on. And so today I'm taking, for example, that I do have some anger inside of me. I don't know what it's attributed to, but I don't have to figure that out. I have to work with Naveen for 3 weeks on my handwriting, and that anger will subside. So all of us have emotions inside of us, maybe from when we were children or losing someone or something that happened, and maybe we haven't processed them, and maybe it will reflect in your handwriting. So why not get on a journey for self-awareness and for self-care, self-development? That's what I'm all about. And that's part of the education that we provide here at USA Global TV and Radio. So I'm just going to run through the options again. You can email Naveen. Here is his email address. And again, all of these things are, these contact points are all in the notes here on the show. You can also contact me. Here's my information, my email address, drjacalyn at usaglobaltv.com. And you can also go over to Naveen's social media. So we have Facebook here, which I don't know why it's running everything together, but it's his name. And Instagram is also his name. So those of you who are watching right now, I see you on Facebook and Instagram. Please go over and follow Naveen. And then also on LinkedIn, you can follow Naveen there as well. And I see we have people on LinkedIn who are watching. So please do take this as an opportunity to do something new that will really come back to you in a positive way in so many ways. That's our show for today, for this episode of Decoding Personality Traits. We look forward to seeing you again on our platform. Please subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. It's been an absolute pleasure. We'll see you again soon. Bye.